TSN, both on their afternoon and now on their morning shows as of this morning, are talking about, well, Marner prefers, and this is Darren Dreger both times.
And before you get too far from Guy Boucher, just to throw in there, along with the reporting of like the power play didn't work and all that stuff, he wanted the head coaching job. That was also part of his being let go. When Sheldon Keefe was let go, he wanted to be considered for that position, and they ultimately went with Berube, obviously. So there's a little bit of, hey, I don't have the future here because the position was open for me to move up and you didn't give it to me. You know, just like anybody at any regular job.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, hey, I've been at this position and my boss left and I want to be considered for that job and I didn't get it. So there's also that. It's not entirely just the power play. Like,
Agreed.
No. He's probably, he wants a head coaching job eventually.
I agree.
And he doesn't see the avenue in Toronto to get that.
That is the second time the Leafs have passed him over, right? Because he was the head coach.
Yes.
And then Mike Babcock called Brendan Shanahan literally after Shanahan was at lunch with Boucher and said, "Hey, I forget Buffalo. I'm coming to Toronto." And that's when Shanny had to call Boucher.
So sometimes you run your time at a company and you know you're not going to move up any further, so you want to move on and start somewhere else.
So Adam, sorry, one more time. Why? What factored into True Living hiring Boucher for the power play?
Pat Quinn said that Guy Boucher was one of the best power play minded coaches he'd ever worked with.
When though? Well, like when did he work with him?
World Juniors. I don't know whenever Pat Quinn was alive.
Oh yeah,
so it's a long time ago.
Found it 2009. Okay. Nope, not okay, not good enough.
They
guys.
did okay.
It was a decade and a half ago.
So which is it then? Is it the coach or is it the players? Pick one.
I know. Believe me, I know, Adam.
Which one is it?
I know. No, okay. Here's what I'm doing, Adam.
Oh, I've got you. Give it.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm not saying, well, no, I am here. Hard line in the sand. It's the personnel. Change the fucking personnel. Change the fucking personnel. Change the fucking personnel. We can't because the personnel has a signed in good faith. You fucking idiot. We called it a year ago. Holy shit. A year ago, we said the no move was going to kick in, you dipshit. And now here we are with our dick in our hand, pissing into the wind. But what I'm doing is poking holes in the logic. Their thinking is fucked. It didn't work out with Boucher, and here's why. Based on their logic, the logic makes no sense. So we're going to hire Boucher. This goes back further in time. We're going to hire Boucher to run the power play because why? The logic's fucked. You're going on a job reference from 14 years ago?
I think
what's the matter with you?
I think you're looking at that point as like the only reason.
Yeah, and I think
it was the only reason.
No, look at the other.
I feel like you're missing the whole point.
Look at the other teams he coached in there. He had some success.
Yeah. Some.
Did he not have success with Lightning? Did he not have success with the Senators?
Well, then it's the personnel. You pick one.
Well, I don't think anybody would. Right. But I think you started the segment defending Guy, and I think you're actually right on that.
Yeah, I'm not defending him as much as I'm just making fun of the logic.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to flip positions there for you.
No. And let me tell you, I don't disagree. I completely agree. I just like seeing it go off. But it was
the coffee.
You should get to the Marner.
It hit.
Well, I want to.
Hit.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Because I interrupted to go back to Boucher when you were kicking that off.
Right. So this goes back to and just full disclosure, TSN has a radio station. I'm sure you've heard of it.
What?
TSN 1050. Kind of a big deal. So they got an afternoon show, Overdrive. Those guys are great, and they have Darren Dreger come on, just like they have. They used to have Bob McKenzie all the time before he was semi-retired. They got CJ, they got Pierre LeBrun, they got all these great minds that come on these shows and give them great pieces of information. How fantastic. And then, of course, on First Up with Carlo Koliakovo, they had Darren Dreger on again. Now, when last week, this is what was very interesting. Last week, we were driving to, I believe it was Boston Pizza Stouffville for the show. Dreger was on, and he's like, well, Marner wants to play out his entire deal here and then maybe sign an extension. And what did Jeff O'Neill say?
No. He goes, no. He pointed out all the correct things to point out. All that bluster at the end of the season from Brad Treliving about change means nothing. It hurts his trustworthiness in the market if he doesn't trade this player, because you talked about change. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to bring back Austin. Well, yeah, obviously. No, I'm not going to blame you for that. Okay, fine. We're going to bring back Willie. Well, no, obviously. No, I don't blame you for that logic. We can't get rid of John. All right. Okay. Fair enough. This is fine. And so that means you got to trade Mitch. And it's not an acceptable answer to be like, well, yeah, but no, we can't. And it's even less acceptable to be like, we can't trade this player. So let's extend him? Or are you on drugs?
Or let's let him walk to free agency.
Yeah. No, and then...
Because that's exactly... Here's the thing. People think that Mitch's camp actually wants to sign an extension here.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I don't believe it. I don't believe them. They're not trustworthy.
I actually don't believe that either.
They've proven they're full of shit. They're full of shit.
Do not believe it.
Just like when Philip Broberg and that whole trade request thing with the Oilers earlier this season, and then the Oilers are like, what the hell? We've never spoken to them about anything.
Darren Ferris?
That's Darren Ferris. It's Darren Ferris does this. He works the media and he just feeds you whatever you want to hear. He feeds you nonsense.
So this morning, we're guessing that Darren Dreger's source is Darren Ferris, that Darren's worked together.
Well,
this morning, Dreger said, I think Brad Treliving's preference would be to extend Mitch Marner. And that seems like a piece of info fed by an agent for a reporter to get out there. That doesn't sound like...
It's a wild thing to say without follow-up.
Right.
And I like those guys. That's a wild thing to say without follow-up.
It sounds like you're trying to spin the narrative publicly.
Oh, no, they are.
They're very much...
By the way, they did last time, too.
Yeah.
And
this week...
It's really, really important that we understand what happened last time, because it was 5 years ago in pre-pandemic.
Yep.
But last time, it was Darren Dreger saying he's going to sign in Columbus for $13 million. It's going to happen. Oh, he's going to sign in Zurich for $1 million. It's going to happen. And the reality of the situation is, from everything that we've pieced together, I think the Leafs want to move on. And I think you guys think that too.
I think he wants to move on. You think he likes it?
I think he does too. And again, it goes back to what I said a week and a half ago. This is all about negotiation position. No, we don't want to. Because if they said yes, we did, well, that gives them less leverage. This is the leverage position. No, we don't want to move. Like, you'll have to convince us.
So when Dreger's on the radio with like a certain amount of clout, because he's Darren Dreger and he's a very reputable insider, and he says, I think Brad Treliving's preference is to extend Mitch Marner, you got to question where the logic is behind that, because based on everything, that doesn't seem truthful or make sense for the organization.
It doesn't make sense.
Or for that general manager.
And like Jeff O'Neill correctly pointed out, it does not match what Brad previously said. It does not match what he previously said about change. Unless what Brad was feeding us is entirely bullshit. And by change, he means trading Timothy Liljegren.
Carlo then took this clip that's gone viral and retweeted, and he said, "This may not be popular, but I'm on the Marner will still be a Leaf to start the season train."
Unacceptable.
So I ask, if Marner signed a long-term deal to stay with the Leafs for under $10 million a year, would that change the way most people feel about him right now? And
can I answer that honestly? Yeah, of course it does.
What? What reality
what the
is
fuck?
that?
Hey, he's going to sign. Why stop there? 7, 6.
No, $1 million.
One.
Yeah.
It's $10 million. What could you? Who couldn't live on $1 million a year?
Did you hear that the Leafs are trading Dewar for McDavid?
That's crazy.
It's happening.
I heard that was Brad Treliving's preference.
How would you feel about the team if they traded Dewar for McDavid, Steve?
What are we doing? What are we? Oh yeah, if Marner signed for $2 million a year less
would
than
your
he's currently
feelings
making,
change?
Carlo, the fuck? Of course, man.
Carlo should have.
Is that on the table?
Carlo should
now
have
that should have been part of the hit.
Yeah,
he's willing to take a $2 million a year fucking.
By the way,
that was just Carlo's
That's
tweet.
just Carlo. There is absolutely. By the way, let me say this to the camera.
No, I like it better.
Or not.
No, go ahead.
There's no truth to that.
Yeah, no.
And there's no way it would happen. Mitch is looking for a He's looking for a raise, and he's looking for between 12 and 12 and a half.
How old is Mitch Marner? 26, 27?
Yeah, he should be looking for a raise.
This is the biggest payday of his entire life. The idea that you throw it there, what if Mitch Marner made $5 million for the Leafs? How would you feel about that? Yeah. It would
that'd be
all
cool,
be
man.
awesome, but he's not doing that. He's looking for the biggest payday of his entire life on this earth. And he's going to get it either as an extension and then a trade or whatever it's going to be, or as a free agent next year.
He's going to make it in
That's what
Vegas.
he's going after.
He's going to make it in Vegas, guys.
Don't throw out that nonsense.
I can't do this again.
Well, you're going to have to. Get ready. You're going to.
I won't.
No, but you actually have to.
Yeah.
You actually do, though.
I'm going to sit here and do a show 3 times a week.
I'll do it in protest.
You're not going to walk off like you did with Arizona.
Let's do it.
I'll wear my jersey.
This is a shorter story than the Coyote.
Until he's traded, I'll wear my jersey backwards. Like it's guys. For the love of fine. Steve, what do you do? Trade Matthews. What's your package?
Okay, no.
Trade Nylander. What's your package?
Hold on.
No, what? Trade Riley. What's your package? Trade Tavares. What's your package? One of them's gonna fucking go. I don't understand what people aren't understanding about this. I don't understand,
I don't understand why you're so worked up about it.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is why I said what I said a couple shows ago.
No, but
This is the agent
one thing
negotiating through the media, which he does, and he is negotiating from a position of leverage, which he has. Now, we could be upset about the fact that Shanny didn't take advantage of his leverage position by firing Dubas,
Fire him immediately. There's no justification for bringing him back.
That I get.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that this is positioning through the media.
Yeah.
If I look at my timeline, there are some very intelligent people today going, yeah, I don't think Mitch Marner's going to get traded. Guys, this is a very one-sided source. We have not heard from the Leafs.
This is what's concerning, Adam. It's Ferris is a bullshitting bullshitter. So I'm not concerned over Darren Ferris, the bullshitting bullshitter. I hope he fucking sees this. I'll text it to him myself if I have his number.
You can
bullshitting bullshitter. But what I am worried about is not the bullshitting bullshitter. It's the smart people online. Leaf fans who allegedly watch all the games or most of them going, it wouldn't be the end of the world. The fuck yes it would. You want to do this again? You're psychotic.